Today is Monday, December 16th, 2024. It is now 6:03 PM and I will call the meeting into order.
Thank you, Commissioner Smith. We will have a roll call to ensure we have a quorum. Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Cousins,
Here.
Commissioner Zako,
Here.
Commissioner Decker,
Here.
Commissioner McPherson,
Here.
Commissioner Wolf.
Here.
We have a quorum. Thank you. First order of business is approval for the minutes for November 2024.
I'll move it.
Moved by Commissioner Cousins,
Seconded.
seconded by Commissioner Zakos. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed have the same right. Motion carries. Second order of business is approval of accounts payable for November 2024. Are there any questions?
No, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed have the same right. The motion carries. The next order of business is the executive director report, which will be brief. We will first start out by saying that Merry Christmas, everybody. We're excited that on Thursday, December 19th is 2024 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. We will have toys for tots here, sponsored by the Zion Food Pantry. They generously allowed us to sign up the children in our program and beyond for toys and tots again this year. So we're asking people to bring their children down that have signed up from the community room. We'll have light refreshments, to give away toys. Santa may come again this year. He gets a little undecided, but he may show up, so come check him out. And we really want to thank Zion Pantry for allowing us to use their certification to sign our children up. The next thing is today was the final day of the election, and we have the election result for the tenant commissioner, resident commissioner, which will serve a term for 2 years beginning in January, which will be January 2025 to December 2026. There were a ballot, which were the incumbent Commissioner Decker and Mr. Davis, who is in the audience today. And these are the vote counts as follows. There was one vote for Iffy Cobbins. There was one vote for Mr. Anthony Bennett. There were 8 votes for Mr. Davis. And there were 17 votes for Mary Decker for a total of 27 votes. Congratulations to Commissioner Decker.
Okay. Congratulations. Thank you.
Would you like to say something?
No.
I'd like to
You
say,
gotta have your speech ready, girl.
I'd like to say that, you know, the commissioners have changed the process for the elections, and while we don't have the participation that I'd like to see, it has definitely been steadily increasing. One year was like 22, next year was 23, year was 27. 27, I think it also has to do with the actual folks that are running, getting out to talk to people more. So hopefully we get even more and more participation, because this is
Yeah.
what building, and it is important. The next thing I'll defer to Marco for development. Team Zambito is here from Marco Development.
Thank you for having me. Jeff, I may
Oh, yeah.
pass these down.
I'll go.
Okay, thank you. So I wanted to present for your consideration a revised redevelopment plan. So the first phase we are proposing to redevelop, and the big changes, I've kind of marked them into like 5 categories for each of them. It's gonna look a lot like our old plan. It's still in 2 phases. Nothing is drastically changing in terms of process. But what we are proposing to do is really a cost saving measure. We are proposing to shift the building off of the steeper slope on, it's not exactly the northwest corner, but shaped in, a quadrant. the northwest corner. So if you guys, I'm sorry, I didn't have the other, to juxtapose the two, but we're really shifting the Site B building, the building on the north side, closer to State Street and adjust it a little bit to the east. So kind of pulling it front and a little bit right, and shortening the whole building off of that northeast topography drive.
I'm sorry, you, I
Yes.
don't want to interrupt you. I was wondering, Jeff, do you think that maybe you can share this? Share,
I think I have that's a good,
and then we can share,
yep, thank you for that.
but you can continue on.
And I'll pull it up.
Thank
Yes.
you, and if the board is okay with it, we'll post it, we'll have it posted on the
Perfect.
website too.
Yeah.
This becomes like something we want to move forward with.
Mhm.
So that's the main difference, and these are like the implications that stem from it. So moving this off the topography also means that we will no longer have underground parking. That is like the biggest impact, I think, of what we were all expecting before. We will now still be hiding our parking, but now it will be behind the building. So no, we are not compromising the 2-acre green space we've been discussing. That is still our core contribution to not only the project, but the community at large. But it really does change like the dynamics of the parking and also the ratios between like the A building and the B building. So let's spend like a minute on that. So for this first phase, we're gonna end up with about 56 parking spaces on Site B. I'm sorry, it's not actually just 56, it's 56 plus 12. And then, sorry, this is very awkward, because we get that upside down like this. Maybe I know you guys are referencing it there. Maybe I'll just reference, like, leave this here for everybody to visit it later on. And I'm gonna go off of just my notes. So we're going to, for parking, excuse me. We've got 88 spaces on Site B and 35 spaces on A1. So that's the southern portion, like the first building being built on A1. Together, for the number of units across phase 1, this is a ratio of 0.7. 0.7 means that almost every household gets a parking space, the very generous parking ratio. Your parking ratio right now, your utilized parking spaces are about 0.4. That's based on car registration. So hopefully this will more than enough meet our demand and will support the parking in this second phase as well. So that's what this determination, like that's what this balance should present. For the number of units, we were able to really save a lot of the changes in the units. The main driver of the unit count, I think, boost is that we are now not proposing a decrease in, a staggering of the height of this first building on Site B. We are proposing for the whole building to be 5 stories. So that will end up like increasing the units on one of the floors and kind of leveling out the building. So it won't be a staggered building anymore, it'll just be one building. Your unit counts here are still gonna be about 100 units in Site B and 50 units on Site A1. So A1, there are no changes, it really is all changes on Site B, but the impact of reducing the actual square foot of the footprint has been offset by that. The other main offset of to spare the unit counts was a reduction of the unit sizes. This is something I'm highlighting for you guys because this is an important consideration for the board. Our unit sizes were originally about 1 bedroom at 725. They're now being adjusted to 670. To put that number in perspective, 672 is the market average for a 1 bedroom in Hudson. So that is based on all the appraisals that have been done here. So we are right on average with the 1 bedrooms in Hudson. Also giving you some perspective, HCR has like state guidelines. Before at 725, we were at the maximum. Now we are right in the middle. Their minimum is 600 and their max was 725.
And we will look at it.
So we're right at.
We were
we're
at the max before, so we were responding to what the layouts are right now.
You don't have
you
to,
know, I don't have, sorry.
no worries.
I don't actually know if it shows up in, our market study, I don't know if this is from the comps. But we're right in the middle of what like the state has authorized. So we were trying to address the tenants' needs and wants for larger units. It just, we can still do it. It's just gonna result in like a lower cap. So our ask of the architects was, how can we kind of still achieve that 150 in the first phase? These are really it for the changes. We don't need an approval right now because things are still in flux. One of the items that's fluctuating is our build out of the townhouses on the HCDPA sites. Right now, we are thinking that that will yield about 6 units. So between 3 bedrooms and 1 bedrooms, or like 3 bedrooms, 1 2 bedroom and 1 bedroom, some version of that. We are also looking to incorporate still 4 bedrooms onto the site, as well as tweak and consider commercial space, which is currently included in this consideration at 2,400 square feet. So a lot is still in flux and we'll need you for decision points as we move forward. But one of the critical reasons why we are here is we want to engage our engineers to see what's feasible, what our impact is on sewer systems, electrical loads, all that stuff. And that all needs to start like now in the discussion so we can kind of build it out from here. So I would love to hear comments. So it was a
One
lot,
question.
sorry, yeah, yes.
Could I quickly recap and you can tell me if I'm accurate in my recap, just to make sure everyone understands, as always. The 2 pink, what color is that? Phase 1 buildings? Pink. So the 2 pink buildings that everyone sees would be the first 2 buildings that could be constructed. And they could still be constructed while Bliss Towers is still standing.
Yes,
And there's enough rooms in both of those units so that everyone from the high rise and the low rise can move into those. So places for everyone here to move into before these buildings would be demolished, which would then allow for phase 2 in orange and additional units
correct.
to come. Great, I just wanted to,
Plus the HCDPA property,
Yes.
that's a part of phase 2?
That
No,
would
that
have to
would
be
be-
a part of phase 1.
Okay.
Basically.
even more units
Yeah.
available through that.
Mhm.
Second, my question is, if we were to say, no, those larger unit sizes are really important for us to prioritize. Do you know what the unit count would go down to if we were to go back to those numbers, to those higher numbers?
I can get that projection for you.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as like a.
Sure, it's not
a
just, yeah,
guesstimate, But I think that's.
I think it'd be worth it just so we know, and we could weigh the options.
Sure. Using the same like maximum unit sizes, or would you like it in between?
Oh, she's saying instead of
Yeah.
25,
Since we have about
like,
4, 5, 5, 4. But that may not be, it may not be actually right sized.
Right.
So that may not be the actual size that they actually.
I would be really interested to be able to compare to the sizes of the rooms here, so that tenants here could actually know the potential
footage.
square footage
Right,
there
That's what I was
in
asking.
comparison to
Yeah.
here, and then they could, because it's like, I'm a contractor, I hear square footage, I can't imagine exactly how big that is. It's very hard for somebody to imagine. So I think for the tenants, especially for them being able to compare it to their existing
Their
room size
space
would be
now.
really useful. So we know, are you gonna
There's
get the same size room? Or are you potentially gonna get a smaller room or maybe a bigger room? That seems like that would be really valuable information.
So I may lean on HHA for that. I know.
We can give that
HHA
part, sure.
had, like an appraisal done that would speak to it. Because we were never considering this for rehab, I know we did not do like measurements, any sort. So-
Yeah, we give you
Well,
that
we have the-
information.
we
We
have
give
the
you that
data.
information. If you can give us the other
Yeah.
information, then we can do the comparison.
Absolutely.
I wasn't trying to get you to
We'll
come
present,
measure the rooms.
yeah, we'll present that at the next meeting.
Great. Thank you.
Um,
I feel like they're at 580.
Yep, I think so too.
What's that?
I feel like
Like,
it's
they're
definitely like a
580.
580 for a 1 bedroom, what they have
You
right
think?
now.
I
So
believe
I
so,
feel like
too, but I wanna
they're
be
going up
exact.
100.
Okay,
It is.
because that would make a big difference, just to know that, yeah, they're going up 20% just to go to the,
Mhm,
670,
Yeah.
that would be big.
mhm.
Are there other concerns on like the height, the actual shift, the parking layouts? One other thing is, there's a breakdown of what we're suggesting right now of unit types. I know we've discussed it briefly at other board meetings. But we have right now a little heavier of the family size units, so between 2s and 3s. And like ultimately, like the four bedrooms we're incorporating, it's over 50%. Like it's over the it's over the 1-bedroom mixes, so that together is, heavier than the 1-bedroom mixes. So I want to make sure everyone's kind of okay with that mix altogether, and then we'll have them keep the proportions and resize it to see what the reduction of the unit count could be with the additional square footage.
I have a question that's for Jeff.
Yes.
In the moving portion of redevelopment, I'm just thinking ahead. Do you reconsider everybody's needs before they accept or sign a new lease?
Meaning
Like if they
bedroom sizes?
need to size down because
Yes,
people have
we
moved
have.
out, you're going to,
This is the best time to do it, to
Okay.
right size people, yes.
okay,
For 2 reasons, one, because we want to properly accommodate the residents.
right,
But secondly, we also want to maximize our asset.
yeah,
And be able to provide for as many people as possible, so we want to make sure that the right person is in they're in the right size unit.
right. I was just wondering if that does that change? Do you have to start doing that now so that you can configure correctly for
As we get
development?
closer,
Yeah,
as we get
Okay.
closer, it is not now necessarily, but
Right.
it is definitely an advanced
Okay.
activity, yes. Thank you for that question.
So we will plan to come back next month to make sure everyone's comfortable with like the units and their right sizes. We will not anticipate any other changes aside from that proposal. In the meantime, it would be wonderful to resubmit to the state with our new proposal. And also start the engineering work. I know that it won't launch that much in the next 4 weeks. We want to pivot to the larger sizes. But it would be good for them to have like a basis to start from. Again, not needing your approval, but is everyone comfortable with us like using this plan to resubmit to the financing agencies and also to kind of get our engineers engaged and working?
Absolutely.
yes.
Okay,
Commissioner Wolf, do you have a question or do you want to add to that? I see you shaking your head, but
I
we
think
need you to be audible.
you're muted.
Say one moment.
Sorry, it just took me a second to find my unmute button.
No problem.
I don't have any questions. I'm in favor. I'm in accord.
Thank you. Thank you.
wonderful. So please at any time, reach out with questions or comments, concerns in the meantime. But we'll move forward in this month and then reconnect next month to kind of just make sure everyone's like on the same page with, like the unit count sizes and moving forward. Thanks.
Thank you,
Yeah, thank you
Appreciate it.
so much.
Somebody's hand is up. No?
I see.
So we'll go to the next portion of the agenda. A second, yeah, a second, because we're actually gonna get to that right now. The next portion of the agenda is resident public comment. Do any residents have any public comment? Comments, questions, or concerns? When did we start?
Sure, so the target from really this date would be 12 months. So that allows us about 6 months, with the planning board, maybe maybe front to back. About 3 months to like do the civil engineering, there are a lot of engineers engaged, structural engineers, MEP. About 6 months before the planning board, and then everything else kind of lines up. So that's the hope.
And just for, and this includes me too, but for anybody who's speaking, please speak up so that the folks online can hear you. I've been asked to do that myself. So I'll speak a little louder. Anybody else have any questions?
I wonder if this is
Yeah,
picking up the
because I-
audio. I think that your computer might be doing the audio still. wonder if it's worth just looking in the audio and seeing if it's working through the owl or, because the video is working, but I heard Rebecca's speaker coming from your computer. It's on, but I know that you can, in your sound settings, sometimes you can change and it may have multiple input and outputs, and it could be on your speakers in your computer microphone, or it could be on owl.
You're correct. Rebecca, can you say something, please?
Sorry, I don't know why I'm discombobulated with the Zooms. Hello, how's it going?
Great.
Can you- Okay.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Better now. Thank you for that. Great. There's no new business. We do have a resolution. It's in everybody's package. It is a resolution for the purchase agreement of HCDPA properties. It is resolution number 553, and it reads as such. Whereas the Hudson Housing Authority, the authority has directed staff to develop a strategy to locate and develop replacement housing for the residents of Bliss Tower, and whereas the authority staff have worked closely with the city of Hudson to identify properties that may be suitable for development, and whereas on or about November 1st, 2022, the Hudson Community Development Planning Agency, HCDPA, entered into that certain option agreement with the authority, which provides the authority with the exclusive option to purchase several properties in the city of Hudson for development of replacement housing. The option. And whereas in consultation with the city, the authority's development partner, the New York State Homes and Community Renewal and the Redevelopment Subcommittee, it was recommended that the authority extend the option to purchase 2 of the sites consisting of multiple parcels contained in the option agreement and shown on Exhibit A here too, known as the selected properties. And whereas on or about October 28, 2024, the authority and the HCDPA entered into an extended and amended option agreement setting forth the parameters for exercising the option to purchase the subject properties identified in the same collectively with the November 1st, 2022 agreement. And whereas the authority intends to exercise the option as set forth in the agreement and execute all related documents for the transfer of the submit parcels, and whereas as a governmental agency, the authority must comply with New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRE, prior to taking any action that would commit the authority to a definite course of future decisions that would potentially have an impact on the environment. Whereas the authority intends to undertake a project on the subject properties to include at least 120 units of replacement housing for current public housing tenants and create housing opportunities for a mix of incomes, including persons and families eligible for Section 8 units and or low-income housing tax credits and ownership units intended to be occupied by persons and families of moderate income referred to as the HHA Replacement Housing Project, which proposed development is not concrete or definite, and the actions taken herein related to exercising the option within the agreement to do not commit the authority to a definite course of action related to the HHA Replacement Housing Project. And whereas the authority has entered into a memorandum of understanding with Montel LTD, Monco Construction and Development Corp. And 41 North Second Housing Development Fund Company, collectively Monco, dated on or about August 22nd, 2023, related to the HHA Replacement Housing Project, which expressly states that at a future date, the authority retains review and approval authority over each phase of the HHA Replacement Housing Project Master Development Plan. And whereas it is not until the authority is charged with review and approval of the HHA Replacement Housing Project's Master Development Plan per the memorandum of understanding, is the authorities committed to development on the parcels that are subject of this resolution. And whereas the authority is not committed to any action related to the HHA Replacement Housing Project by this resolution and exercising the option agreement, the authority desires to conduct an uncoordinated secret review related to exercising the option agreement, which is an unlisted action pursuant to secret and is implementing regulations. And whereas the authority recognizes that the environmental impacts of the HHA replacement housing project contemplated in the agreement will be subject to the satisfactory completion of further secret review review and findings as required by law. And whereas because the authority is a governmental agency, has prepared the enclosed Part 1 and Part 2 of the Environmental Assessment Form, EAF, to assess any potential environmental impacts associated with exercising its option within the agreement. And whereas the authority and its staff have reviewed the enclosed Part 1 and Part 2 EAF documentation and assessed the potential environmental impacts with exercising its option within the agreement, which are none, given the actions approved by this resolution will not result in any environmental changes or commit the authority to any development action. And whereas, given the above, the authority as the secret review agency intends to adopt the enclosed negative declaration, finding that exercising its option within the agreement will not result in any significantly adverse environmental impacts, and now therefore be resolved that the Board of Commissioners has reviewed the enclosed EAF Part 1 and Part 2 and determines that no significant adverse environmental impacts will result from the authority exercising its option to purchase lands with the agreement. Be it further resolved that the Board of Commissioners hereby adopts the enclosed secret negative declaration, finding that no significant adverse environmental impacts will result from the authority exercising its option to purchase the selected properties. Be it further resolved that the Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes the authority through its executive director to exercise the option to purchase the selected property within the agreement and to amend the agreement to extend the time in which to close to coordinate with the Montrose transaction. Be it further resolved that the Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes the executive director to complete all tasks associated with exercising the option and the agreement and the close on the selected property. Are there any questions?
You just jot that down before the meeting?
I did not.
None at all, I'm ready.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner
Mary got it.
Zocco,
Mary's,
Commissioner Cousins, and seconded by Commissioner Decker. And there are no questions. I take the roll call vote. Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Zaccos,
aye.
Commissioner Cousins.
Aye.
Commissioner McPherson,
Aye.
Commissioner Decker,
Aye.
Commissioner Wolf.
Aye.
The ayes have it and the motion carries. Thank you for that.
That's great.
The next order of business would be public comment. Is there any public comment? Are there any public comment? Seeing none,
I would just like to quickly,
Commissioner's time.
thank Chairwoman, Ravonda Smith for, from the beginning, from very early on, identifying the importance of those properties long before anybody else had them on their radar. And pushing for this to happen. We've got a lot of feedback from the public that scattered site housing is really important to folks. And so I think being able to follow through with this and get to this place is amazing. So thank you for being the steward of this for a long time.
Thank you, guys.
In addition to us moving forward, very, very forward, we're much further, I believe, than we've ever been. So, and that is largely due to the board. So,
Yeah.
which you got the ball rolling before I even got here, I just jumped on and started laughing. So thank you for that. Any other comments for the commissioner?
I would like to add for our meeting next month due to it landing on Martin Luther King Day.
Right, January 20th.
Yes, so I would like to make a motion to change the meeting to that, what do we decide?
Tuesday, the 21st.
Yes, Tuesday, the 21st.
Can we do it like the week before?
We looked at the schedule the week before.
Because we also have to go by city hall meetings as
That's what I was
well.
looking
so
for.
we
You
don't
already
wanna-
looked for conflicts on
Yeah,
that?
so
Okay.
we don't want to overlap,
We
but
have meetings on Tuesday.
still, you
Wednesday,
still
Thursday.
can put in you want to do it the week before because maybe the 21st doesn't work for you. And it doesn't have to be at 6 o'clock. It can be like at 5.
And
I
if
thought,
you're not able to attend, I think it's your daughter's birthday or your birthday, right?
No, it's my daughter's.
Oh.
That's why I said, can we do it the week before, because like, I mean, I know her birthday is that Wednesday, but like,
Well,
Right.
we can end it here and Jeff can send out emails.
well,
With
with that
suggestions.
being noted, but wasn't we supposed to switch the time from 6 to 5 anyway? Whatever happened to that?
No, that was tenant meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. But would 5 work better for you? And the only reason we chose the next day is because there would be 3 meetings in the previous week that are sitting.
I mean, that's fine, it could be.
So, I mean, and if you're unable to attend, you come to all the meetings, so.
Yeah, you can.
You can miss one if you must.
Yes.
You know,
I'll be there.
so how do you want to proceed?
I'm gonna let Mary take the wheel on that one.
We can do the 21st, that's fine.
So you
Oh,
make the
sure.
motion,
Okay.
is there a second to
I'll
having
second,
a
I'll
meeting
second.
on the
Sure. Claire to say.
21st of January, because we will be off for Martin Luther King's birthday, and it's been seconded by Commissioner Cousins, all those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it,
We do have a question
yes,
from Carol Ostring.
oh,
Carol?
thank you.
Yes, thank you. I was just curious about the status of the Housing Authority website. People have not been able to access it for the past few days, and I'm wondering what happened.
I'm uncertain, but I just heard that today and I was able to access it by my phone, from my phone just this evening. But I will look into it and I will ensure that it's up and running. I'm not certain of the issue.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Are there any other questions? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make it,
Seconded.
It's been
Sure.
properly moved. Yes.
I just wanna know, we can go into executive session for it. It's about a personal matter.
You
I
just
don't-
made a motion to adjourn.
And I would need to, you would need to, is it a personnel matter, like an employee matter?
Yeah. We can talk about it after the meeting, but
What's your pleasure? What's your?
Sure,
it's only gonna take like 5 seconds, I swear, that's all it's gonna do.
sure.
You need a motion.
I make the motion, we'll then executive.
I'll second.
There's a motion to go into executive session for a personnel matter. It's been seconded by Commissioner Smith. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll move to executive session. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
You drive carefully, thank you.
Yeah.
You both here. I'm gonna leave this here, but, well.
Yeah.